Hey guys, Cece back with another video, and for today's video is going to be the first installment of our yearly favorites. Watching me or my channel, just make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also make sure you go ahead and click the little notification bell right next to the subscribe button so you can always be notified of all of my future videos, because you never want to miss a single upload. You also want to make sure you're following me on Instagram at Camelia Yvette, and also subscribed to my family vlog channel right here on YouTube at Bradley Party of 6. So today's video is going to be the first of several yearly favorites videos. I will be posting them all month long on Sundays, so make sure your notification bells are clicked and you guys are tuned in to the channel so you don't miss the products that I was loving the most in 2020 that will definitely be carried over with me in 2021. Today's video, we're gonna start with my favorite products, which are complexion products. We're gonna talk about setting powder, primer, concealer, and also foundation. These are literally the foundation of your makeup, like no pun intended. If your base is not right, then the rest of your face is gonna look like crap, and that's just being honest. No matter how good that eyeshadow looks, if your face looks all dry and cakey or super oily, you know, it just doesn't look good. The look does not come together. So I feel like these are the most important products in a makeup look. So just make sure you get you some, okay? Make sure you get you some good ones, I should say, because it's all kinds out there, but just get you some good ones that work for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. We are going to jump into first the primers. So going into this video, my thought process was to pare down my favorites, a year's worth of products, especially products that I've tried this year, which was a whole lot. Like a year's worth is a lot of products to go through and talk about. And then on top of that, order them and categorize them. So I tried to limit myself to 5 of each category. Some have less than 5. I think one category has a little bit more than 5. So you guys will just get to see a range of products that I've been loving. And for primers, the first one, if you've been watching me lately, this is no surprise because I've been using the hell out of this. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. This primer, once they announced this was coming out, and I can't remember if this came out in 2019 or in 2020, but once they announced this primer was coming out, I was like, Smashbox, finally, because they have their iconic like smoothing primer that they've had forever, just the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and it took them years to come out with this oil and shine control one. I don't know why, I don't know what they were waiting on, but finally they gave us the right formula. And if you are an oily person like I am, then this primer was made for you. Now that's like for a regular oily person, but for a heavy duty oily person, which is also me, especially in the summertime when it's humid and sun's out, and but this primer right here is heavy duty. So if you're looking for something where you're like, y'all, I'm not just regular oily, I'm like chicken grease oily, like really bad, I need something that's going to really lock up those oils, then the Glam Glow Super Mattify 6 Acid Clarifying Primer is the one you want. So the nice thing about this primer is that, well, one, it comes with a little scooper, and then you open it up and it's like charcoal clay. Like, this is a heavy duty primer. So if I'm going somewhere where I know like my makeup has got to last for hours and hours and hours and I have to look good, I'm not really going to be able to touch up, or if like it's a really hot day and I have on a full face of makeup, like this is what I'm pulling out every single time, and it definitely keeps me matte, and I absolutely love it. Last but not least, I do have a drugstore option, and this is the Revlon Photo Ready Prime Plus Mattifying and Pore Reducing. This is like really equivalent to this. Like, this is really close to this one. So they have different types in these Revlon primers. So just like the Smashbox primer, just like the Smashbox primers, they have different concerns. So they have like redness reducing and all of those different concerns, hydrating, and these have the same, these Revlons, but it's really, really good. It really reminds me of the Smashbox primer, and I absolutely love it. It has like a $12 price tag, I believe, so super affordable, and definitely something you can go to the drugstore and pick up and look beautiful throughout the day. All right, moving on. We might as well just get these out of the way because your girl has a lot. We're talking about setting powders. I love setting powders. You guys, I have so many setting powders. We're definitely going to be doing a declutter here soon because my makeup collection has gotten out of control again, and it's just time to get rid of things that I'm not using. So you guys will definitely get to see how many setting powders I have. It is a ridiculous number of setting powders. I don't know why I feel the need to try every single one, but for some reason I do. So I have 6 here sitting in front of me, some for underneath the eye and some for all over the face. Starting with underneath the eye, one of my more recent favorites from last year is the One Size. This is the translucent, is it just called setting powder? I think it's just called setting powder. Yeah, this is the One Size translucent setting powder, and this is Patrick Starr here on YouTube, Patrick Starr's makeup line, and I bought this setting powder. First of all, he came out with minis right off the bat, like you didn't have to buy full size and then wait 6 months for minis. He came out with the minis right off the bat, so that really got me, and I love the setting powder. So it reminds me a lot of the texture of the setting powder that he came out with MAC years ago. Do you guys remember that one, that collection? He came out with a collection with MAC probably in like 2016, something like that. It was a long time ago, and I purchased that setting powder and I was like floored at how amazing and blurring and brightening it was. It was the most beautiful setting powder, and so this is very similar in texture to that setting powder. I will just never forget that texture because it was just a little bit different than a regular setting powder, and this comes very close. Beautiful powder, brightening, blurring, just amazing. And I mean, this is such a great buy. And there's different shades. I believe there's a darker one or a banana one. Maybe it's banana. There's another one as well. Okay, I'm probably gonna say amazing like 25 times in this video, if not more, so bear with me, y'all, because all these products are amazing. So another underneath the eye powder that you guys will probably guess that I'm going to talk about is the Chanel Powder Universal Libre. I'm probably saying that all wrong, but this is the Natural Finish Loose Powder in the shade number 30 Natural. I did not think this loose powder was going to be worth it. I think this was one of those Andrea Renee made me buy it purchases, and so I picked it up and I've been hooked on this powder ever since. Same with the La Mer setting powder. That one's really good as well, but I actually like this slightly more, and this one costs like half the price of the La Mer. Like the La Mer is $120. I want to say this is only like $60. I'm saying only, but it's only compared to the La Mer. But this is such a great setting powder, and it just looks really nice, and I don't want to say thin, but just undetectable. That's a good word. Very nice and undetectable underneath the eyes. You don't even notice it. You don't know it's there, and it's one of the most beautiful setting powders I've ever tried. Just so gorgeous, and it's not like bright white. It's like this vanilla. Well, I have the shade number 30, but it's in the shade Natural, and it's like this vanilla shade, and I think it's perfect for my skin tone. All right, let's move into powders for the entire face. I have 4 here. One that I've just been in love with is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder. Looks like this. It has like these small reflex of, what is it, sparkle in it, but it doesn't really show up on the face like that. This is just a nice, like Hourglass's whole claim to fame is that their products are like light filtering. They're made to make you look good in different types of light, and this powder is so nice for not setting your makeup, but for finishing your makeup. So normally when I wear this, I will set my makeup with maybe a foundation powder or something like that, and then I will put this on top just to give it that like last little finishing touch. I don't even know what that was, but a last little finishing touch on my face, and you just look so beautiful when you do that. So like I said, I wouldn't recommend setting your makeup with this, but it just gives it that last little finishing touch that you're looking for with your makeup. Same goes for this Givenchy powder. This is the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. And so it's a matte finish and enhanced radiance loose powder. I have mine in the shade number 5, Popeline Mimosa. And so this powder is very nice because it has 4 different shades in there, and then you spray it out and it all comes out together. You swirl it together and it just makes the perfect shade on the face. It is a very nice lightweight powder. This, again, if you need something more with coverage, this doesn't have any coverage. It's really just gonna finish off the makeup and give it that last dusting, that last little touch that you're looking for. Now, if you want something to actually set your makeup and also help you mattify, I do have 2 more powders here. One being the Urban Decay. This is the Stay Naked The Fix powder in the shade 60 WO. So warm orange is my shade. This is like my perfect shade, and I think it is such a beautiful powder. I did an entire video with this powder this summer. I showed you guys my powder foundation routine. So if you missed that, I'll definitely have it linked in this video. But this is my favorite, like absolute favorite powder foundation. Now that Fenty tries to give it a run for your money, okay? The Fenty's giving it a little bit of run, but this foundation I don't think can be topped. Like, it's gonna be really hard to top this one. Such a good foundation, has such great coverage. I'm talking like full coverage, ma'am. You want glam in a powder? This is glam in a powder, like full coverage, ma'am, okay? And just looks so flawless on the skin. They have so many different shades. I would definitely check this out if you're looking for a good powder foundation. And then something that I've been into, I don't know, for a while is also using this powder right here. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder. I usually don't use this alone. What I'll usually do is when I really need to be matte and really need to be matte all day, or I can't touch up with this powder, I'll usually mix this with another powder. So say I'm like, man, I kind of want like a lighter makeup look. So I'm gonna finish my face with this Hourglass Ambient Infinity powder, but I also need to stay matte. I need my makeup to stay put for the day. I will mix the 2 together and it'll give me mattifying, but it'll also give me like glow. So if that makes any type of sense, that's what I usually use this with. Something that doesn't have a lot of coverage. I'll mix it together so I can like just keep my mattifying properties as well. Love this setting powder so much. Woo, baby, I feel like this video about to be long, but I gotta get y'all the tea, all right? Let's move into concealers. I actually have 2 drugstore and 2 high-end. So for the drugstore concealers, the first one I have, I'm about to drop it, is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. One of the best concealers at the drugstore, hands down. I've probably tried them all, honey. This is one of the best, if not the best, at the drugstore. Very serious coverage here. I love the Infallible line. As you guys know, this is great coverage, super brightening. I have mine in the shade, child, what shade is this? RNZ, no, that's wrong, that ain't the shade. This is 375 Latte is what my shade is, and so it's not my shade, this is brightening for me, let me say that. And I could probably went a shade darker, but this blends out so well, so it doesn't even matter. Blends out so good underneath the eyes, and the nice thing about it is it's full coverage, but it's not like one of those super thick concealers where they're hard to move around, they look cakey underneath the eyes and just ugly all around. This isn't like that. You get all that coverage, but it's still very creamy, it's still very blendable, looks amazing on under the eyes. Then I also have the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Long Wear Concealer. This one's crease proof as well. It has infinite coverage. I don't know what I'm talking about here. So crease proof. I feel like every concealer creases, you know what I'm saying, especially after a certain amount of time, but I do find that this concealer wears very well. Another full coverage concealer, like you're not going to be wanting for coverage after you use this concealer. I got the shade C10, so Cool 10. I feel like I definitely could have went darker with this concealer, but again, it blends out so well that I can get away with it. This concealer claims to have a 16-hour wear. I have not taken it for a 16-hour ride, but I would not doubt if that's the case, just the way it stays put underneath the eyes. All right, let's go into higher end concealers. I must have a thing with full coverage concealers because this one is super full coverage too. This is the Dermablend Cover Care Full Coverage Concealer. This, like, Dermablend will like cover a tattoo. Like, that's how full coverage this one is. However, again, not super, like, just super hard to move around and super thick. Still very creamy, still very blendable. That is like the theme. If I'm gonna use a full coverage concealer, I can't have it just be like really thick where I can't make it blend seamlessly under the eyes. And this is really nice. This one is in the shade 40W, so 40 warm. I have my concealers in different undertones and finishes because I never know what type of makeup I'm gonna wear. So if my makeup comes out, like my foundation comes out slightly more cool, then I'll go with a warmer concealer. If it turns out slightly more warm, I'll go with a cooler tone concealer, and it'll just help balance each other out. So I like to make sure I have concealers in different undertones as well. And then for the last concealer, this one is actually a neutral tones concealer. So it's the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I have this one in the shade 3N, so 3 neutral. And this one is actually more hydrating underneath the eyes. So I do not have dry under eyes. However, you don't want to look like you have dry under eyes if you use the wrong concealer. This one is extremely hydrating underneath the eyes, very creamy, very just comfortable under the eyes. It has like a medium coverage. I don't have much to cover, so I don't know why I love full coverage concealers. I think just because they brighten better. That's why I love full coverage concealers, but I don't have much to cover. So a medium coverage concealer works just fine for me, and this is one of my favorites. Okay, let's go into the absolute last category for this video, and it is my foundations. I have 5 foundations here, 2 drugstore and 3 higher end. So let's just jump right in. We're gonna jump right in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. So, first of all, I was hating on this packaging when they came out with this new like squeezy tube packaging, and then the more I used it, the more I realized how genius it actually was. Let's talk about that. I ate my words there. But this is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless for normal to oily skin. You guys have probably heard about the Fit Me foundations and concealers, I'm sure. They've been out for years, and they just one of the most iconic foundation and concealer lines at the drugstore. One of the best in my opinion. I believe they also have a dewy and smooth line for those of you who aren't oily, but for me, this one works perfectly for me. It has medium to full coverage, very long wearing, and this, I mean, this looks like a high-end foundation when you put it on. One of the newer foundations that came out in 2020 was the Too Faced Born This Way matte. I mean, I think the girls were waiting on this one, okay? Were we not waiting on this one? They have the regular Born This Way. I had just got into it, and then they announced the Born This Way matte, and I was like, yes, doll, I've been waiting on you. So I did a full video where I actually compared this to the regular Born This Way, and you could see a clear difference in which one was matte and which one was natural finish. This foundation is really nice. It is a little more orange than the regular Born This Way though. So I have the same shade, which is in Brulee, but it's definitely a little more orange in that regard. So if you're going to pick out a shade based on your regular Born This Way shade, just make sure you're watching for the color change, because I do have to do a little finessing with this as far as my setting powder and my concealer, just to balance it all out. Another one that I discovered this year is the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. Amazing natural foundation for $5. Like, what? $5, all right? I've been talking about Believe Beauty ever since I discovered them, probably early summer, and I got, well, I think that's the only place they sell them. I was gonna say I got it at Dollar General, but I'm pretty sure that's the only place they sell Believe Beauty, and all of their products are $5 and under. I picked up pretty much the entire line, and absolutely love the line. I think it's quality makeup, especially for the price, and this foundation is something else. Like, you would never believe this was a $5 foundation. It's a natural finish, skin-like, just gorgeous, goes on seamlessly. I never have an issue with it. All right, last 2 products. Let's talk about, let's say the best for last. This one right here, Fenty Beauty. Y'all knew something Fenty was gonna be in this video. So this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I believe last year I featured either the matte one or I featured this and the matte one together, and I use a lot this foundation along with the matte foundation, or I'll mix this with another foundation. But then I've also been using this separately just by itself, and it's so pretty. I mean, I do have to do a little more maintenance with it as far as touching up because again, I'm oily. However, it's not like anything crazy. It's not to the point where I just really feel like this ain't gonna work for me, you know? And of course, I love Fenty's line because I'm a 370 in every single product. They just came out with the foundation powder. I did a full video. If you guys missed it, I will make sure it's linked in the cards, but amazing. Last but not least is my baby. So can we just have like a moment of silence for this guy? Like just, okay, moment over. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I've been waiting on NARS to come out with a matte foundation forever, like forever, okay? And finally they did it. I'm in the shade Cadiz, and this has to be my most worn foundation of the year. Got this around the same time I got the Born This Way matte. Did a full video review on it. I think, when did this come out? I feel like this didn't come out either until like August. And this easily is one of my favorite products of the year. Hands down, this is it right here. So this foundation is matte, but it doesn't look super, like it's like a demi matte finish. So not like a matte, just a very nice demi matte finish. Keeps me looking good all day. It's in a squeezy tube so I can get every little bit of this out. Has that same beautiful NARS packaging and just is all around gorgeous, just blendable. The color is spot on, which means it follows the same formula as the other NARS products, and I have not one bad thing to say about this foundation. Nothing. Oh, and it passed the mask test. Y'all know what the mask test is. You know, we gotta wear masks everywhere. This will pass the mask test for you. You will not have foundation all of your mask when you wear this product. So absolutely love this guy, and if you haven't gotten it by now, spend the coins and get the foundation, okay? Just spend the coins. So that is it, you guys. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was helpful for you. What were some of your favorite products in these categories for 2020? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'd love to know what you guys were loving last year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I appreciate all of your love and all of your support. Don't forget, we will have another favorites video coming at you every single Sunday this month. All right? Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.